Welcome back to the Gadget Spot. Here we are.
We're a tech podcast,
and it's very hard to play with tech sometimes.
Yeah.
I think Simon walked all over my soundboard.
Thanks, Simon.
And then I'm recording on a new computer. It was a perfect storm of awfulness that put us an hour behind schedule.
Yeah, we attempted to start an hour ago, and Tony's been whittling away at his computer ever since, trying to figure out tech.
Finally got it, though.
He's got it. Look at him. He's got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why we're a podcast, because we figure it out.
That's right. Doesn't matter how long it takes or how hard we want to throw things against the wall. We get it done. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Owen.
Hey, I'm Owen. You can follow me on Twitter at TechNoan. I haven't been playing anything except for the game of Influenza B this last week. So
That game sucks.
Your games are getting steadily worse each week.
Yeah, that wasn't a good game at all. I came out on top because of a drug called Tamiflu. I got my symptoms. It's like an upgrade. It was like getting a power pack.
You got the big up mushroom?
And it cut the symptoms in half, so I'm actually here today.
What does Tamiflu actually do? I've never taken it in my life.
Tamiflu, for those of you that don't know, like Jarron,
That's us.
It stops the virus. It's like neutering the virus. So the virus is duplicated. That's why you have...
Cuts off their penis.
Yeah, or neuters, because we don't know if they're male or female. It could be female.
Yeah, that'd be
it could be. Anyway.
Removes productive ability.
So yeah, it stops...
reproductive
No,
ability.
spade is for the females, neuters for the males, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't being
No.
I guess you weren't entirely
sexist
inaccurate.
at all.
Yeah, that's true. But that's why you have to get it within the first 48 hours, because otherwise Tamiflu will never catch up.
It just reproduces too quickly. At that point.
So yeah, so it stops its
Lucky
ability.
virus.
So it doesn't treat any of the symptoms. You still feel like hot garbage, but it cuts the time remarkably. I have a coworker that got the same thing. We all got the same thing at the big company party last week.
Whoa, is that what they gave out as gifts?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I'm pretty.
Influenza.
Everybody gets influenza. It's pretty horrible. I've got I'm a high risk family right now, so I've got a diabetic, a 1-month-old, and a 2-year-old. So we're pretty freaked out, but I'm here, and Tamiflu is running through all of our veins. And
You are America.
yeah, woo!
Wow. Great job. Good to hear from you, Owen.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the games I've been playing.
Jarron.
Hey, I'm Jarron. You can find me on Twitter at Jarron. And I have been playing some Battlefront 2. And there's a reason for that.
Oh.
I bought some wireless headphones for the Xbox. You know, the truly wireless, the Turtle Beach Stealth 600. I love them.
They plug directly into the Xbox.
No, they don't plug into
Yeah.
anything.
No, they don't plug. They just connect.
It connects just like a wireless controller.
Oh, I want them so bad. When
Yeah.
you sent those over.
They were $70 on Newegg on sale, and they're great. You could even enable Dolby Atmos with it.
Does it sound good?
Yeah.
Not bad?
Battlefront 2 doesn't support Dolby Atmos.
Oh.
Other games do, so I wasn't able to test that specifically, but it's high quality enough. I like it better than Sony's wireless solution.
I might go pick those up.
Sony's, you have to actually plug a USB fob into it,
Yep.
and they crackle and cut out all the time, whereas these are rock solid. It's kind of funny, though, because on the box, right where you open it up, it says, update your firmware.
Oh, really?
Because if you don't, the audio cuts out all the time.
So the Xbox uses a proprietary Wi-Fi band for controllers and this headphone, whereas Sony uses just a regular 2.4 gigahertz, whatever. And part of the problem with that is all our neighborhoods are so saturated with routers and interference and on the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum that
if you can still get range in there, because the 5 gigahertz spectrum eats that range. So, like, if you have neighbors that are running, like, if you're running 2.4G, which is what I have, because I've got
everyone runs.
Well, I've got baby monitors and crap that still are old and can't connect otherwise. And but most people are running N now at least, which is 5 gigs and 5 gigahertz, and it just eats that bandwidth. So you get really horrible channel width and speeds.
Yep.
So Battlefront 2, I'm just as horrible at it as I was a month ago.
Oh, good.
I was averaging maybe 2 kills a game.
Oh.
Yeah, and the good people, they get like 20, 30.
Yeah.
So I was always dead last, and then I had an epiphany. Work together as a team.
Your epiphany was shoot the enemy?
No, like before, I would always just go off my own, and I'd get my butt handed to me every single time, but I thought, they encourage you to play as a team so much, why don't I try it? And so I was like just in a pack with a ton of people, and we were killing people like crazy. And Battlefront 2 is kind of cool like that because they give you points if you just shot them once and somebody else kills them.
Yeah.
And so it is pretty much just as good as a real kill. So once I did
your
that,
ratio went up?
yeah, I was getting like 10, 12 kills after that.
Doubled to 4.
Yeah, I doubled.
Nice. All right, and we have a new guest panelist today,
Howdy.
Justin. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. You don't have to say it if you don't want to.
It right.
Anyway, Justin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Do you have a Twitter handle that you want to pimp?
Sure. Though after last week's podcast, I feel kind of silly saying it because it's such a good one. I feel like I need
Too
to
hot
put
to
the new
Randall?
one. Yeah,
yeah.
Too hot to Randall is so good.
You can't compete with it. That's okay.
No, it's not. No way. But mine's Jail Car Fan.
Do you like cars?
Just a little bit.
Nice.
It's but anyway.
No need to apologize for your horrible Twitter handle.
I know, it's true. It's definitely not as cool as Jarron.
You been gaming? What have you been playing?
Yeah, so pretty much almost all my gaming right now is Forza 7.
Oh, good choice. So you like cars?
Cars.
You're a car fan.
Surprise! So, yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Titanfall 2 and a little bit of Rise of the Tomb Raider, but I basically pretty much anytime I have a chance, like the kids are asleep or the wife's upstairs, hurry and turn it on and play a little.
You know what's nice about
7.
car games though with kids? You can play them with kids around because it's
Exactly.
a car game. You're not killing anybody.
Right.
Exactly.
Twisted Metal.
And a lot of and a lot of time you can give them a controller and they don't know that they're not running the car.
Yeah, I do that
Mhm.
all the time.
My 2-year-old daughter loves that.
My 2-year-old daughter figured that out this last week. So
She knows now.
It's all over.
She found out how to hold down the Xbox button and turn off the console.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
So you got to hand her one that doesn't have batteries.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta take
then
the
she knows
batteries out.
because the Xbox light doesn't light up and she goes, fix it. So I'm screwed because she's too smart.
So Justin, for our audience, answer the question: iPhone or Android?
Android.
Yeah.
I'm alone here.
You are alone.
I wouldn't have called that him using a MacBook right now.
So
And an iPad.
I love my
My iPad.
iPad. Unfortunately, Android's never figured out a great way to scale apps
True that.
on tablet. So I love my iPad, but I can't get away from preferably a Google device for my phone. So I've been running Nexus and now Pixel.
Oh yeah,
Now.
dude, I'm a Pixel fan, big Pixel fan.
Yeah, you got the.
Yeah, not the
Last year.
Pixel 2, but that one kind of pooped out. But
My
The
wife,
2XL.
my wife has
Yeah.
the 2, and it's an awesome device.
Oh, really?
If you're okay with some bezels.
yeah,
But yeah, we initially had the 2XL, and we actually traded it back in for the
just
2.
for the 2.
Did you notice the difference in the screen quality?
Just
Between the
off
two?
axis. So hers was one of those that you saw the bluing pretty bad when you.
Ooh yeah.
It's got that blue hue.
But the biggest problem that she ran into was just the size. She'd gone from a 5-inch device to that, and
Wasn't
she
ready for
couldn't
the
handle it.
phablet.
Yeah.
Wasn't ready for it. I switched too, and I came from the Samsung world. I was a Galaxy S fanboy, and when I switched over, I was like, "This is too big. I can't." And then I just loved it too much, and I couldn't give it back.
Yeah, my wife went from a 5S to a 7 Plus.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's big. That's
That
a
was
big
a
jump.
huge increase.
She's a two-hander
Did
now.
did she complain about the size? Like I can't
No,
reach
she
anymore.
didn't.
She's just good.
No, yeah, she was
like,
good.
"Oh."
What a trooper. Good
Yeah.
for her.
I know.
See, Apple, you didn't need to keep it small for 5 years longer than it should.
Well, once Steve Jobs died, then they're like, we can do whatever we want. That's when it increased.
Exactly.
Too soon?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
All right, and I'm Tony. Twitter at QuadTTony, or always here on the Gadget Spot or on the Geek Show podcast. So lately, I've been playing. I played some Titanfall 2 this week, a little bit as well. That game's just so fun. The multiplayer on it's just super fun. Even if
It
you're not
is.
doing that good, it's still fun.
And it's just, I love the concept of the horrible computer players in there because you get satisfaction even though you're horrible.
Exactly.
Yep.
I've been doing that, and I've been plowing through Homefront: The Revolution on Xbox One X, and that game's actually surprisingly pretty good. Especially if you kind of like the open world style first-person shooters where you capture points on the map and add them to your army or whatever, and then build up your character with new weapons and modified weapons and stuff like that. It's not too shabby. And then also I always sprinkle in a little bit of Mario Odyssey because that one's just a fun goof off, jump around and collect your moons and stuff.
Yeah, what's replaced Mario Odyssey for me is Doom. I just pick Doom up, play a little bit.
That game's fun.
Yeah, it's a
just
really cool game.
Fun. All right, very cool. Let us give a shout out to our Patreon subscribers, because without them we wouldn't be able to do this as well as we do.
We'd be nothing.
It's true. Patreon is basically a digital tip jar. In case you don't know what it is, you can go to patreon.com/gadgetspot and throw a little tip in the jar if you want to help support the podcast. If you don't, that's okay too. We always appreciate just downloads and spreading the good word of the Gadget Spot. But we have a Tech Daddy and a Tech Mommy scale. Not scale. What's the word I'm looking for?
Tier.
Tier, yes. Yeah. Jarron, explain what that is.
So if you pay $6 or more a month, then you are officially our Tech Mommy and Tech Daddy.
Don't say pay. Say donate. It sounds better.
Donate.
Yeah.
Donate. Yeah, well, it is a donation.
That's right.
Yeah, and the requirement is we have to love you forever, and we'll say your name on the show.
And so far, we've done pretty good with both of those.
Yeah. So here we go. Huge shout out to AJ Jasper, David Osuna, Aaron Young, and Aaron Harris. You guys are great. Aaron Faulkner, the Gray Jedi. I don't know who you are, but I like it. I like it a lot. Spencer Knowlton, we do care. Owen.
Yeah.
Valentine, Kevin Eccles, Ryan McQueen, Casey Dilly, Johnny Rios, Derek Allred, Ryan Baker, Lindsay Lucas, Michael Black, Matt Nelson, Jeffrey Kale. I wonder if he likes kale.
How's it spelled, with a K?
No.
No, I don't think he likes it.
Do you like
kale?
Hate
it.
Do you like it? Let us know.
Yeah. David Broshinsky, Roger Allen, Austin Beauregard, Glexo Slim Slom.
What? That is a deep cut. I don't even think... I'm sure that's a Rick and Morty reference, but I don't know.
It's got to be,
that's
yeah.
a super deep cut if that's what it is.
Wow. He outsmarted you.
He did.
Dan Clark, Brian Lee, Conrad Southworth, Adam Hecht. Thank you, guys. You are awesome.
You guys rock. Let's see. Now, we also have a few messages, a couple of Facebook messages and one or two emails we're gonna hit on real quick here. If you ever feel like dropping us a line, hit us up at our email address, thegadgetspotcast@gmail.com, or you can just send us a Facebook message as well. We're just the Gadget Spot on Facebook. So, what do we got?
Email. You may have heard his name from the Patreon list.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. He sent a picture of a screenshot. It's a "Don't Panic" shirt with Elon Musk's Roadster out in space with the Earth behind it.
Yes.
Anyways,
I saw that shot live. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, the caption to that picture says, "Celebrate our Lord and Savior, Elon Musk." And Aaron says, "Guess you guys aren't the only followers at the Church of Elon Musk, or they listen to the G-Spot."
Nice.
Yeah.
The first option is a lot more likely.
This is the Church of Elon Musk. So.
He's our patron saint.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for sending that in. Do we have any more?
Yeah, we got a message from AJ Jasper.
Oh, hey. AJ.
Yeah. You may have also heard his name. He says, about to board a plane, went to download a new show, and then got sad. It was only been a week. When will you all move to weekly?
Weekly. So that is something we do have on the horizon.
That's a dream.
We don't know how far away that horizon is, but
it's on the horizon.
It is
though.
on the horizon.
Before there was just no horizon.
Yeah, we had some plans to start it, but those got changed a little bit, and we're going to see what we can do. Hopefully, by the end of this year, gives us a good 11-month cushion.
Yeah, I like that. As somebody who fears change, I like that. Thank you, Tony.
That's right. So, yeah, we do think about it, and we do want to do it at some point. We just got to figure out everything associated with it. So, there you go, AJ. Thanks for writing in.
Yeah, and one last message from Aaron Esau.
Who's that guy?
Yeah,
hey, that's my brother, Aaron.
Oh.
You wrote in. Hey, what's his question? I haven't even read it. I've been sick, I told you.
Yeah. He says, I've read in articles that Xbox Gamer Pass stands to be the first best shot at a game Netflix. What are your thoughts on that? What happens if I get a game using Game or Pass and then Xbox discontinues it, so I lose access to all that fun stuff I did?
Interesting. So did we talked about this, I think, 2 episodes ago?
The Gamer Pass?
Yeah.
No, it was longer.
Was it longer than that? So one thing that did, the Gamer Pass has been around for a while, but one semi-recent bit of news about that is that all Microsoft first-party titles will now be included day one on the Game Pass.
Forza.
Yeah, so your Forzas, your Gears of War, your Halos.
Does that mean the whole Forza back catalog will be available on it?
I don't know for sure on that. I haven't looked because, well, here's, I really like this idea, but here's my problem with what they're doing. Microsoft has such a huge first-party title dearth right now.
Issues.
That what they said is basically like, oh, that's cool, but you only release 1 or 2 first-party games a year.
Yeah.
Especially when you factor in like ones that are good.
Yeah.
I mean,
To contrast that, what are other systems pushing out?
Sony pushes out like 4 or 5 good ones a year. Well, at least 3.
Yeah.
Lately, it's been more than that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've been killing it on the first-party titles.
I-
And so my problem is if I'm paying, I'll be honest, I don't really care about the back catalog. They're older and some new games, and it rotates, so that's cool. But if I'm paying it's $10 a month. If I'm paying $120 a year, and the big incentive is Xbox exclusive games on day one automatically as part of the subscription, I need more than 2 because otherwise I just paid for 2 games.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, I for people who've had an Xbox for a while, such as you and me, Tony, Owen, you don't count since you never touch it.
Mm-hmm.
We already have like a pretty big catalog, so this
Yeah.
doesn't really appeal to me.
Right.
So it's more for people who just like barely got an Xbox. And
It's kind of appealing to
yeah,
me.
you just barely got one, right?
Yeah, I was kind of off gaming for several years actually, and just picked up an Xbox in November. So I've been thinking about it, but again, I've had the same thoughts. What games am I gonna get with this?
Yeah, I mean it's a fairly large catalog, but still, it's like, if you've been in the game for a while, like Jarron said, you've already played all the games you want to play that have been out.
But if you haven't, maybe you get to play some older games that you've been like nostalgic, have a little nostalgia for. You get to go back and play some of those and then try out some of the newer stuff.
Exactly. I'm sure there's some gems in there too that I'm unaware of that are really good. But
if they made it like twice as expensive as Xbox Live, but included Xbox Live with it,
Ooh.
then maybe.
see,
That'd be cool.
That's a good point.
to me, it's the price barrier should be $5 a month. If it was $5 a month,
Well, that's how much Xbox Live is.
yeah. So you'd want to do Xbox Live for $10 a month and get this included?
Yeah, if it came included with Xbox Live, like right now you're paying for 2 separate services.
Yeah,
Xbox
okay.
Live and this.
All right. Yeah.
Then maybe.
I didn't do the math, Mr. Accountant. So yes, I agree with you.
Simon is attacking me right now. Oh my gosh.
You mean standing in front of you?
Well, he's black like the microphone, so maybe he's hoping I'll get confused and talking to him
Oh,
instead.
now he's just cuddling up to you.
I like his half-lidded look. He's like, I'm just doing this now. Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't care what you guys are doing.
he's sitting on my computer now.
He's our mascot.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, he has a new home.
There it is. Yeah, so I don't know if you're just getting back into it, or you look at the list of the games and there's a lot of games you want to play on it. I'd say it's worth $10 a month, but
Yeah.
for me, $5 a month, no more than that.
Yeah, my scenario is where it's appealing, and I'm kind of teeter-tottering whether or not I'm going to do it. But I got an Xbox and went out and I had the 5 games. Okay, I want to get these right away. But if a good portion of those were on this, it would be a no-brainer, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe if like your family left you for 2 months, then it'd be perfect because
could
you
play.
play for 2 months, play all the games you want,
And
forget about it after that.
Yeah, and then discontinue it.
That might be a cool a la carte idea. Like, hey, I'm just gonna pay for this.
It's the same thing that I do
Right.
with my CBS app.
Yeah.
I watch it when Star Trek's on. As soon as Star Trek Discovery's done, canceled. So
That's a great show.
oh, it's really good.
I haven't watched the last 3 episodes, so
Yeah, I haven't watched.
I heard it got weird. I heard it got
Oh.
they went kind of weird with it. So
Like the last episode somehow resolved everything when it looked like it wouldn't be possible to resolve everything.
Yeah.
they were like way out in the weeds, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh crap,
We got to bring this back.
we got people want to come back next season. We were wrap some stuff up.
It worked out pretty good, though. I
Yeah,
thought
it was
they did
good.
a good job, and I'm excited for season 2.
I have a Facebook message from somebody here.
Oh yeah, what do we got?
So we debated while we were having technical support problems for a while. We debated how to try and say this person's name.
I believe it's Japanese characters.
I don't know. I really am not that versed in it.
It's definitely not
in kanji. So
the alphabet, the Roman alphabet.
yeah, it's definitely from Asia somewhere. I'm gonna say that
Okay.
as generic and non-racist as I can. And we're going to go with...
I don't think if you say a region, it's racist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay. Good. That I tried to go broad to avoid that. I don't have a very good radar there. So it's L/ET, fish hook, shrug, smiley face. And then the rest... So, like, we're going to say... L to Shrug. We're gonna call him Shrug.
Okay, Shrug.
Hey, Shrug. And Shrug says, hi.
Oh, hi.
That's all. That's the message. Hi, Shrug.
Thanks for the message.
We're going to call you Shrug until you tell us how to pronounce your name.
Yep.
Anyway.
That's very nice. That's all we got for messages?
That's it.
Okay, cool. All right. We got a decent amount of news to talk about here. Let's start with... we reported on the Falcon Heavy launch was coming up the last episode.
Oh, man.
And it happened.
It was glorious.
Wasn't that the
It really
coolest
was.
thing? Oh my gosh, I have that linked in the show notes too. I actually cut the link. I pulled the link from T-minus 10 seconds. So if you haven't seen it yet, you have to go watch it. Did you guys see any footage of the core rocket?
No.
Elon says he has it.
Oh, he does? I haven't seen it yet.
He says it exists, but the core rocket, so the two sides fell off, landed within what? Like
A couple minutes.
a second of each other.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Like
It was
almost-
the coolest shot too,
We-
seeing the two rockets land at the exact
Yeah.
same
we
time.
I thought Jarron and I both were in the same opinion. They looked like the same video camera, and we were
did,
like,
yeah.
"What the heck?"
Because they were so
That's
close to
awesome.
each
Yeah.
other as they came back down.
Oh man, it was amazing. And then the center core ran out of fuel, so center core
Ignition
yeah,
fuel.
ignition fuel, so it couldn't light its rockets, and it came down at almost 300 miles an hour and clipped the ship. Apparently.
did it clip
There was
the
some
ship?
footage from the ship that I saw. but
Yeah,
that's the only
they
thing
said it
released.
clipped the drone ship, and
Jeez.
shrapnel all over the place. Elon Musk says it was pretty impressive. We have the footage,
I want to see it now.
but he hasn't released it yet. So that was probably the only failure, but it's still a huge success.
Yeah,
so.
huge success.
Definitely.
I didn't think the two boosters would have landed like that.
No, but I think everybody was just kind of like, hey, is this happening now? So, but yeah, it was pretty rad to watch. I mean, I'm kind of a Mars/space enthusiast, so I like seeing progress.
I'm kind of a Jupiter enthusiast.
You want to see people land on Jupiter?
I like Uranus.
Huh.
Yeah.
Here's a question: had they announced that they put cameras on his car before the launch? Because I had not
didn't
seen
know.
anything about
Yeah.
that, and all of a sudden, the next day, here's shots
Yeah.
of his car above the Earth, and it was amazing. I was like, I don't know.
I was
He's a
watching the live
genius.
stream of that
Yeah.
right after it took off. It was so cool.
So you know the orbit they put it into is supposed to last for millions of years. And
Oh, really?
It's an elliptical, like a meteoric orbit that
Mhm.
wraps around the sun, does a figure eight, goes out around Mars, comes back, and it's supposed to be there for millions of years.
Oh, wow.
And they overshot it.
Oh, no.
I mean, they fired. So now it's actually going to loop out into the asteroid belt and come back. But still, I mean, they're like, yeah, it'll just loop out in the asteroid belt, and like just the asteroid belt full of huge,
Yeah, it's gonna
gigantic
get
frozen
taken out
rocks.
probably.
Okay,
Well,
yeah,
They said there's a 6% chance for it to come back to Earth within
Right.
a million years.
right.
Oh, wow. I read somewhere, though, that the asteroid belt actually isn't nearly as densely populated with asteroids as
Right.
we think it is, like, without looking at it. So there's not a huge chance it'll hit an asteroid, but it is a chance for sure. I wish that there was still, like, I wish the radio communication was good enough that we could still see the live feed of
Yeah.
it floating through space.
The batteries ran out is what they
Oh.
the cameras were remote batteries, and they didn't plan for any type of
It's probably
long-
just some GoPros, right?
yeah.
Why don't they plug it into the batteries on the Tesla? That would have lasted for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah, it was the first Roadster.
I'm almost positive they couldn't put any real fuel or electronics in that Tesla, throwing it up in there like the payload, because it too dangerous. Like they don't know what the shock could have done to like the cells of the battery going up into space. So
Eh.
that probably
Maybe.
was a gutted machine. Like plus they had to. I mean, what happened to all the vacuum, like all the lines and stuff that had air in them as it went up into space? Like, did they explode? Did the engine explode?
There's no
Anyway.
engine. It's electric.
But there's still compression and gears and stuff inside
There's
there.
no compression.
There's gears with air in between them. I guess it just sucked out.
Yeah, we'll just suck it out.
Anyway, it was really rad to watch. They're planning another launch now. Don't step on the soundboard, Simon. They're planning another launch now that they're actually launching internet access into space now. So now They're launching they're launching.
They're not using the Falcon Heavy for that.
No.
Those are just Falcon 9s, aren't they? Yeah.
But he also has a bigger rocket planned or something like that. I heard. So
bigger than the Falcon Heavy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the BFR, the big rocket.
Big freaking rocket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So whoa.
That's the thing we talked about a couple months ago, where you can go from like New York to India in like 2 minutes or whatever.
But
cool.
It's really cool. I just am so excited that in my lifetime I'm seeing space exploration be a priority, because it seems like since the 60s when the generations, it hasn't been a huge priority except to get money and technology into space to make it so that corporations and whatever, so we can, I'm not saying I don't appreciate cell phones and all that, but
well, one of the things I read that was crazy was that the number of satellites that SpaceX is planning to put up for this satellite internet venture is, I swear I read that it's more than what's already up there.
Right.
Of
That's
satellites
crazy.
in space.
That's crazy. I know Google had big plans to internetize the world. I made that up.
Google has big plans,
but like
to
they
do
have
a
like
lot of things.
like they have like the balloons that float in the upper atmosphere and
Project Loon.
Yeah, Project Loon. So
how's that going, Google?
I don't know.
Get on the stick.
Those
Make
guys,
something happen.
They'll probably just drop it again.
They're too busy being creepy with all the data they have.
Well, who wouldn't be at that point?
Google got in some hot water actually this last week with had to remove some stuff from Google Chrome from their Google search engine. Did you hear about that?
No.
They got a lawsuit from Getty Images. And you guys ever do image? You guys do image searches, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
You ever want to grab the image? You click what? View image, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't have to go to the web page. You don't have to go find it. It just pulls it straight up. That's gone.
Oh.
That was part of the.
I did read about that.
That was part of the lawsuit. It's one of those things that I use all the time, but didn't really realize it. And then I tried to use it the other day, and I was like, whatever. I guess this site just doesn't have it. And then I read that article a day ago, and I was like, oh, that's part of the settlement. For them to, it happened in the UK, but kind of went worldwide with them having to pull that from their search engine. So if you used view image to kind of go directly to your image search before, the claim was that Google was aiding and abetting piracy by helping people go grab video images off of sites without them having to slog through the ads and content that pay for it.
Sure.
I guess. Whatever.
Interesting. So we've received a complaint lately that we don't talk about cars enough.
I have one.
I got one.
Yeah, I drive it.
So we're going to talk about cars, even though car technology hasn't changed a whole lot in the last 100 years, besides the electric ones.
Some of them have a screen in them now.
Honestly, I would say besides infotainment stuff and creature comforts in a car, we're still dealing with...
No, they've gotten ever more efficient slowly.
More efficient slowly, but we're still dealing with just a internal combustion engine.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things that's been driven by this is the drive for efficiency.
Yeah, and it's taken a long time.
Yeah, the whole world economy is based on oil, right?
Yeah,
and so that's why there's been such a hindrance in that type of in the electric car and clean car field was that it was really repressed.
You got to
break the mold.
Yeah, and I've heard there's conspiracy theorists out there that say that there's been cars developed that run on water, that
no way
20 or 30 years ago, 40 years ago that run on water better than anything
and the
out
oil
there.
company bought the patent.
Yeah, exactly, and shut it down and everything. So anyway, Justin has a story here about some cars. So what's going on?
So I thought this was an interesting story. There's a company that they've actually been around now for about 14 years, but they've been developing an old engine design with more modern techniques. So
is it like a rotor engine?
So it's called
rotary.
It's called a
rotor.
Dual. I guess the dual piston.
Dual rotor. No.
So essentially,
you're not a car guy. Let him go. let him get to it.
There are rumors that some rotary stuff will come back.
It's not a rotor.
It's not a rotor.
Mazda loves its rotor engines.
Opposed piston?
Opposed piston, there you go. So essentially, this engine design was created in, I think it was 1893 or something, and was adopted mainly into airplanes as a diesel engine. And in the 30s, Germany had it in some of their planes, and it still holds a record for the longest flight without refueling. They were running flights from Germany to South America over 6,000 miles.
Holy crap!
Without refueling?
Without refueling.
Dag,
on
yo.
these diesel opposed piston engines. So a gentleman, I'm gonna forget his name now, who's a theoretical physicist, found out about these and just started this company. And it's interesting. So they've used new techniques with computerized the benefits of computers and being able to basically dynamically
engineer and simulate and all that stuff.
And really taking the fault tolerance way down. Like, that's what's cool about this article that he has. We'll put in the show notes, but it's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So they're claiming. So the interesting thing about this is they're not necessarily saying, "Oh, we're going to build these engines." They're building basically use cases, and their goal is to license this out to companies like Toyota or something, right? And they're claiming up to 40-50% more efficient than current gas models. So it's interesting. There's no head, there's no valve train, no spark plug. It's basically a long cylinder with two opposed pistons
Does it use diesel?
Go against each other, and it can actually run on gas or diesel.
Oh,
so you can't do both.
It's one or the other.
But they have parallel development they're doing.
Interesting.
So they replace the valve system that like in a normal combustion engine you have your compression cycle, then your exhaust, your power cycle, then your exhaust cycle, and your intake cycle. But this one just uses holes like drilled into the side of the cylinder to like function as that. That's a really cool idea how they've just, because it takes a lot of the the head is a big part of the power loss because it has to have a camshaft on top to
move
run
the
valves
and everything.
And so you spend a significant amount of your power from the drivetrain itself just turning the camshaft and running the head system on top. So it's really cool.
Yep.
I just read something that blew my mind. The very first compression ignition engine, the diesel engine, it was designed by Rudolf Diesel.
I wonder why they called it a diesel. I don't get it.
I had no idea
Why
Diesel was the name.
Distant cousin of Mr. Vin Diesel.
It's too bad they didn't call it a Rudolph motor.
Right?
And it ran on
That could have changed everything. That could have changed this entire country. It's like, gotta go get some Rudolph fuel.
And it ran on pure peanut oil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is pretty exciting. At the Detroit Auto Show recently, they had a Ford F-150 there with one of these in there, and their estimates are high 30s, like 37, 38 miles per gallon.
With the same amount of power?
Yeah, so
in a truck? Dang.
That's way cool.
So, I mean, it's similar power numbers. These are all kind of prototypes, but they're talking. So current diesel engine that Ford is putting out later this year in the F-150 is going to be running about 250 horsepower and 440 foot-pounds of torque. And it'll probably be, if I remember correctly, high, like right around 30 miles per gallon, high 20s for highway.
Oh, wow.
That's really good for
Which
a
is
truck.
really good.
Now, is that didn't they team up with Cummins for that motor? Or is it still
this one's Ford in-house, yeah. So,
it's an in-house.
So Nissan and Ram are running
the Cummins. Oh, it's Nissan. Yeah, Nissan went to Cummins. Dodge has always been Cummins.
Yes, they have. Yep. So pretty interesting. If again, this is their modeling numbers, but if that's true, having a pickup truck you could get close to 40 miles per gallon would be pretty amazing.
It kind of blows that barrier away because like I have to have a commuter car, like so I can get places and not spend all of my money on gas.
Right.
But I really miss my truck. Like I had to switch. And so that actually tears down a barrier for me.
And I realize I didn't answer your question. Horsepower numbers were on the one that they were talking about were a little bit lower than current diesel motors, so it was more around 200, but the torque numbers were right there with the same around like 450. So
wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that since this is still prototype stuff, they could boost those numbers with more engineering and more development.
Yeah,
so.
the biggest thing that it seems like they're running into right now is the physical size of the engine. It's a little bit bigger than what we would currently see on some of our fuel or diesel motors. But
luckily, that's what we're kind of good at this generation is
miniaturizing,
shrinking technology.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I hear about this when you explain it, and I think to myself, that would be a good, I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but that would be a good replacement for like the diesel-style electric generators.
you're definitely right. That's actually where we're going to see this first.
Yeah,
so
like in trains, and then the Chevy Volt does the same thing, but with a gasoline motor powering electric.
They're actually, sounds like their first kind of success with this is they're going to be licensing this out to create backup generators for like power plants.
Right.
So these are going to be massive engines, right?
Because you'd be able to get 50% more time per, gallon of diesel or whatever.
Exactly.
So
cool.
That's pretty cool stuff. Now, I don't know if it explains this in the article, but why was this technology abandoned 100 years ago?
Nazis.
Jet fuel actually was kind of what on my research I found out. So the creation of jet fuel kind of left us behind because of the power.
Oh, because it was mainly an airplane.
And it was cheaper.
They switched to turbine engines.
I
see.
And then the kind of in the 60s. So this engine was used in particularly a lot of like spy planes and bombers and stuff between the 30s and 60s, like World War II era. And so around that time, it kind of got dropped off the face of the planet for jet fuel.
It was so crucial just because you could carry less weight in fuel and go the same distance. So it was like...
And you could stay up for a long time and take pictures.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. Cool story.
Car tech.
Of course, no cars will ever be as cool as the Teslas. I mean, they're the coolest. Let's see. Also...
Hail Elon.
Speaking of improving current technology, let's talk about Windows and their ultimate performance mode.
Dude, this looks so awesome.
If
you don't pay for your own power, you need to do this. This is Windows pulling all the brakes off of their operating system, allowing no lag between these micro calculations is what they're calling it. And mainly for developers, it's supposed to be to help. I'm sure to help with rendering, but I've got I've got kind of a horse in this race with
crypto mining.
Like I wonder.
Everything comes back around.
Everything it does.
There's no way this would give you a significant boost in crypto mining.
Who knows? I think.
No way.
When you're talking about percentages, maybe I don't know. But it's just interesting because they're Windows really trying to get into the performance computing game with their OS is kind of a new move in the consumer area, allowing us to do that.
Well, I feel like
outside of data centers.
I feel like Microsoft recently has finally been trying to address, and they always have in the background a little bit. They're making more of a point of it though, of addressing performance of their OS, just overhead, because Windows.
It gets a lot of crap.
Has a fair amount of overhead, when you compare it to like Mac OS and Linux, especially Linux. Linux is a super light OS. And so it feels like Microsoft is finally kind of getting into that game of trying to lighten. And you've seen it from the last few years, especially with like Windows 10 and 8.1, the requirements for the hardware requirements didn't go up at all when you moved from like 7 or whatever up to these ones. And so it's nice to see that. So what do they expect with gains? Have they announced anything?
No, they haven't announced what the actual performance steps are, because it kind of depends on what your hardware is currently running at, like what hardware you have in there. But
it says it's only running Pro for workstations.
Yeah, so it has to be Windows Pro.
Okay.
So
and it's not available for laptops right now.
Oh, not on laptops?
Well, it's throwing away power management. So if it were, your battery life would take a huge dive.
That makes sense. But none of Owen's cryptos are laptops.
That's right. I'm a desktop guy. I'm a hardwired. I'm a wired connection person and towers. I mean, I like laptops. I see their functionality. I have to use one. But if I have the choice, I would usually just sit down at a computer.
Yeah,
you should start bringing your tower to the podcast.
I should. I should just bring it in.
Just haul it over.
Yeah. Like in the good old days. Like that, like
LAN parties.
Yeah, like LAN parties.
When I would go to a LAN party with StarCraft, like when I was playing StarCraft, I'd be like, okay, here it comes, all the cables, my big old CRT monitor.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
If I had to haul my PC around, that thing, Jarron could fit in my PC.
I probably could.
It is way too big.
You'd have to break my legs, but I could fit in there.
We can do that. I've decided there's a certain case coming out from Leon Lee that when it debuts this year, I saw it at CES and I've seen a couple of videos on it. I'm switching over because this thing's just too big. EVGA, I love EVGA stuff. I love your graphics cards. I love your power supplies, everything everything I've ever had from EVGA except for the closed loop CPU cooler. That thing was garbage.
Uh-oh.
But everything
Let's
else,
hope they're not listening. They don't take disappointment well.
I've loved. But your cases are just too big. It is enormous.
Like what? There's a lot of real estate in there.
Yeah.
That I can see. What else would you throw in there?
No, that's
Like a hamster wheel? Maybe
you could fit a
to run?
hamster wheel.
Wait. Could that power crypto?
That's what I'm saying. I'm all about that.
Oh,
I'm all about doing that.
you know, I'm not sure if a hamster wheel would do it, but maybe a ferret wheel,
Yeah,
All
a
right.
little bit bigger.
they stink though.
They do.
Mm.
So
You need some smell management in there too. Yeah,
Anyway.
ferret.
But you can turn this on. There's a preview. I guess there's a Windows 10 preview build they released, and you'll be able to turn this on yourself in Windows 10 when it comes out, when they release it. But you're going to have the option now when building machines with Microsoft to have it shipped turned on.
Oh wow!
So
That could benefit gaming rigs too.
yeah,
maybe.
I don't understand. I guess they're saying micro latencies will be eliminated. So maybe something in the bus between the
Interesting.
memory and the CPU. I don't know.
Interesting. So speaking of PC gaming, I was able to finagle my way into, which means I just signed up for and they accepted me, the GeForce Now beta.
Ooh.
So we talked about this last episode, I believe.
Yeah.
And we talked about it about a year ago when it was in alpha. The GeForce Now beta is basically NVIDIA's version of game streaming online from their server farms. So one of the neat things about GeForce Now, though, is you don't have to pay a subscription to their game library. You pay your subscription to access their computation network, and then you tie that to your Steam or your Battle.net account.
That's nice.
Did you figure out how much it cost?
They haven't told us how much it costs yet still. So the beta's free, so if you sign up for the beta and you get in, it's not going to cost you anything to try it out. But so you can link your Battle.net or your Steam account, and so I did that last week and played a few games. I played Just Cause 3 just on this Surface Book laptop. I played Just Cause 3, Wolfenstein 2, Doom, and one more I'm forgetting. But so I'm on a Surface Book 2 15-inch. So I mean, it in and of itself, it's a decent laptop.
Yeah.
It's got a good amount of grunt. But I was able to play these titles at 2440 by 2560 by 1440 resolution, all graphic settings maxed.
Wow, that is awesome.
And here's the caveat, as long as my internet connection was solid, it felt almost like it basically felt like I was just playing it rendered on the laptop.
Wow.
The latency was
basically non-existent besides a hiccup here.
That was kind of what we were talking about last time, was like, what I wonder what that will feel like.
Yeah, and I was on Wi-Fi too.
Oh,
I wasn't on a wired connection. And I got to tell you,
Were you using your home internet?
yeah, I was using my home internet.
What do you pay for?
I get about 75 up and down.
Oh, okay.
So-
my internet's like 12 times faster.
Yeah,
than
so
yours.
you'll be great.
So I did.
Thank you for rubbing that in, by the way. You jerk.
So it sounds like you did run into some Wi-Fi. Did you get some clips when you?
There was
when
once
you
in
hit
a
that?
while you'd see it drop some frames. Probably, and when I say once in a while, I mean it was like I noticed one or two every maybe 10 minutes.
Would it just scale down the quality as the?
No. It just like it would just kind of freeze for about a third of a second, and you'd just feel it judder.
Right.
And then it was back to nice and silky smooth.
How often did it do that?
Like I said, once or twice every 10 minutes. I mean,
it's not too
it
bad.
was completely dependent on my internet connection, I'm sure.
Right.
So anyway, I got to say though, very impressed. And I had my brother-in-law David was over when I was testing it out, and he doesn't play PC games, so it was. On one hand, it's nice to get a non-PC gamer's perspective on how it feels. On the other hand, it would have been nice to get another PC gamer's perspective. But he said to him, except for the slight judder every so often, he said it felt, just like he's playing a video game on a computer. Like he didn't feel.
Us uninformed though, us uninitiated in computer games, I would probably have felt the same way.
Yeah,
since I'm used to.
Exactly. That's what I'm
my
saying.
bar is really low already.
Yeah,
I'm not a PC gamer, so.
Does it max out at 60 frames per second?
So it's hard to use a frame counter on it because even the frame counter is rendered on their server farm. So. Yeah, it was getting 60 frames per second, but I don't know if it felt like most of the time that's what I was seeing, except for the judders here and there from my internet connection. I'll be honest, I don't have the greatest consistency on my internet connection. It's good 99% of the time, so I'm sure that's what the issue was so far, and it is still in beta. But the fact that I'm on a laptop that didn't heat up, didn't kill the battery.
That's insane.
I was playing 2K resolution, well, what they call 2K. It's 2650 by 1440 max settings.
Could you go higher than that?
That was the max at this point, and it felt like I was natively rendering it on my laptop. It was
very cool.
It was really neat.
That's kind of a game changer there. I think that's pretty cool.
Pun intended.
Wah, wah.
Was there any artifacting in the image at all?
No. That's the thing, is as long as the internet connection was solid, it looked great.
Wow.
Did they tell you what kind of hardware you were actually using over there? Do you get to choose? I thought that was part of it. You get to choose what hardware. They have hardware tiers.
Oh, if they do, they haven't introduced it yet.
Oh, okay.
So it's just I believe it was the equivalent of a 1080 right now. So
Can't believe those guys held on to those cards instead of selling them. Have you seen their stock?
just keeps going up.
It's insane.
This is the type of thing that would be appealing to someone like me. I'm mainly been a console gamer. I haven't done much PC gaming, and if you don't want to have to invest in building a gamer PC, that's awesome.
Your barrier of entry goes down to zero, basically.
Yeah.
You pay your monthly subscription
cost.
Have
they said anything about that yet?
No, cost hasn't been announced yet.
Right.
But you pay that, and there's a Mac version, so you can play on your Apple devices. There's obviously the Windows version. I haven't seen anything about a Linux version.
Linux never gets the love.
Yeah, I highly doubt it.
Mac is basically Linux, so I'm sure they'll find a way.
Does it connect to other gaming services besides Steam?
So far, just Steam and Battle.net.
So like good old GOG, whatever it's called.
Yeah, they don't have a GOG option. But honestly, at this point, I don't know if they're going to expand it. But with Steam and Battle.net, you're covered for 95% of the games out there.
Yeah.
EA has its own Origins system that it uses, and it's not not very great. But they do EA exclusive games are on there. So like if you wanted to play Dragon Age, what's the latest one? Origins.
Yeah.
You won't be able to find that on Steam or on Battle.net. So stuff like that. But they might add those later on. I don't know. The point is though, I was impressed. I mean, I'm PC Master Race all the way. I spent way too much money on my gaming rig, and I still walked away going, if I didn't want to build a gaming rig, this is not a bad option.
If it was priced $20 or lower a month, I doubt it will be. That would be like, seriously, man, I should do this.
Yeah, for anyone that has a solid, they say minimum recommended internet connection is 25 meg. So as long as you have above 25 meg of a solid internet connection, you want to get into PC gaming, it's at least worth a try because you can see if you like it or not.
How long did it take for the game to install?
So the game install probably, each one probably took around less than 2 minutes.
It's not bad.
Honestly, it's about the same as turning on your PS4 or your Xbox One and waiting for like an open world game to load. Some of those take between 90 seconds.
It takes me like 5 minutes to load into Battlefront 2.
Yeah, see, it felt about like
to the loading screen, to the main menu.
So it's fast. It's faster than that.
It's ridiculously slow.
So yeah, I walked away so far very impressed. And I'm going to keep trying it. There was one game, I can't remember what game I tried to play that I couldn't get to load. Oh, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. I just couldn't get that to load. It downloaded it to the VM that you're using or whatever they have back there on the back end, and it just wouldn't start.
How's the user interface? Does it feel weird?
It feels like a PC.
Is it really easy to you just put in a website and put in your credentials and it just loads up?
Well, so on your laptop there's a what's it called? Just an app you download that looks kind of like Steam.
Right.
Has a list of games there. You click on it, it spins up a VM for you, connects you to it, and then tie in your Battle.net or Steam,
right?
And then you see your entire library right there.
Cool.
You just choose.
Does it pull? So it pulls up another window that looks like another Windows desktop.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Well, not really a desktop because you don't see the
start menu
bar or the start menu or anything like that.
They need to make an Apple TV app.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
An Apple TV or
Android TV. Whatever.
It is going to be available on what are those things with the Tegra X1s in them? The NVIDIA Shield. Yeah, Shield TV.
That's cool.
So yeah, really, really interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on that, and I'm going to try some more games out. And if anything changes, I'll keep you guys posted.
How do people join the beta? For those of us that want to maybe jump in on that,
I think
what do you have to do?
I think I just went to Nvidia.com and signed up for the beta.
And you just got in? They were just like,
yeah, it took
cool.
about 2 weeks between when I asked to get in and when I got in.
They wouldn't accept your application, Owen.
I know, they'd be like, let's look how many Nvidia. He's a crypto. No.
Yeah.
Look how many cards he has. Look how many he's using for gaming. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Actually, like, okay, just take his money, but take it under the table because we really need the crypto miners' money, but we...
Shh, you're telling their secrets.
Dude, I just had a brilliant idea. You know that company we saw at CES, the French company, who were selling like full-on computers in the cloud? $30 a month, crypto mine on it.
I wonder if they'd let you.
Yeah.
Honestly, because
NVIDIA is allowing you is now allowing so they announced their new card, right? The
Tesla V.
The Tesla.
Not Tesla. Sorry.
It's Tesla.
Titan.
Titan
V.
Tesla's going to be the new one.
Yeah.
Tesla's going to be their new one. They're putting on a new. Their next card is remember to be named Tesla.
Yeah.
Another brand name.
Their compute cards for data centers are called Teslas.
Yeah. And so they are allowing that to be run in data centers now for cryptocurrency, so you can do that. Maybe you can do. Maybe renting out some crypto space will be
$30 a month. You definitely make a profit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You could get it for $30 a month.
I mean, depending on how much you have to pay on power and the whole pricing tier.
Right.
But
very cool. So yeah, I walked away pretty dang impressed with it, especially for a beta product. Speaking of walking away or into things, Apple's got an issue with its new headquarters.
Yeah, their beautiful, huge spaceship campus in California that they just opened up. There's a lot of glass walls, like so many glass walls that employees walk into them. Like literally So here's this tweet. Just heard that the first day Apple Park opened, 7 people injured themselves by walking straight into the glass doors.
7?
And that's just the people who reported it, as they felt physically hurt.
You know, they said in that article they've been putting up Post-it notes on some of the glass areas to be like, there's a wall here.
Oh my god.
And then Apple takes the Post-it notes down because it interferes with the design.
Right. You can't have that.
Tim Cook basically said nobody's ever going to get to tour that space either. By the way,
yeah.
Like, this is our house. We're not. And I was thinking about that last night as I thought about them being like, we're never letting you into the inside park. We're never letting anybody out. They made a shrine they bought land across the street with a viewing platform.
You want to look at our building?
You go over there. It's all things Apple. It's like an Apple museum. You go over there and there's like a viewing deck that you can go up and look at it. But they said they're basically never going to allow anybody that does not work for Apple into the park.
We have an inside man. If he could confirm or deny the story, wink, wink.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be fantastic to know if people are actually running into walls, and like as much as they say, because that's hilarious.
I'm sure that if Steve Jobs were still around, he'd come out to the company as the CEO and say,
"You're walking wrong."
Exactly. You stole my joke, Jarron. Sorry, you're walking wrong. You need to change the way you walk.
You lobbed it over the plate. I just had to take a swing.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody base jump into that park. By the way, that's the
only way to get in.
That's why I want somebody to be like, I'm in.
Parachute
like that movie Elysium where they live up in the rich people are all up there and Earth is like the dumpster.
Yep.
That's kind of what I think of when I think of the Apple campus. It's even round like Elysium.
That's just like also Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
All the rich people live in these super high skyscrapers above the cloud level and everything.
I want to see some pleb be like, no, I'm going in there. Freaking base jump.
So one of these days we'll see the whole campus just with rockets just go up into space.
That's what I've always thought about. Like it looks like a spaceship. So, one day it's just going to start spinning and then just take off.
Apple will transcend.
Their whole employee base will be translated.
Oh man. So Qualcomm dropped some news this last week, and it's actually I'm going to say Qualcomm. It's about freaking time.
For the GPU.
For the GPU, the CPU is still meh, but they totally redid their GPU architecture for the Snapdragon 845, and it is quite good.
Yeah, it's like almost iPhone A11 Bionic level good.
Yeah.
So for on the GPU side, so that's really good news. And they're saying it's going to be a 30% power reduction, so that's great for battery life.
Yeah, it's really impressive when you do see a company like Qualcomm or Apple or whatever, they quote a power reduction, especially a significant one like 30%, and then say it's also going to perform 50% better. You know?
Yeah, so they're saying it's going to be 30% better performance, 30% power reduction, and 2.5 times faster display output.
Yeah.
And then next year, like their next flagship chip is supposed to have the new modem in it, right? The new X24 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the A45, but
not the A45.
Whatever is after that.
Yeah, they've got that one kind of locked down.
They said that chip should be able to sustain 2 gigabit per second
LTE speed. That's crazy.
That's insane.
So Justin, once you upgrade your Pixel, like 10 months from now, when it finally comes out, we'll have another chip about to come out.
That's true.
Google's is on the wrong cycle here.
They are. It frustrates me so much because I want a Pixel phone, but I don't want last year's tech in it.
And when the new one comes out, you're gonna have the same problem.
Exactly. It's a never-ending battle. So yeah, Qualcomm's finally doing something with their chips that looks good rather than almost an Intel-like approach, which is how it's been the last couple of years. Yeah, 10% better.
The A11 Bionic is still 15% faster.
Yeah, but the ground
iPhone forever.
The ground that they gained is still impressive.
Yeah.
Man, I really wish that Apple would sell that A11 to Android phone manufacturers. That would be so cool. Whatever. Okay, so this is pretty neat. Who put the story in here about the Xbox One X 1440p? Was that you, Justin?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So it had been mentioned kind of pre-release of the One X, but they've come out and said that both the Xbox One S and One X will be supporting 1440.
I don't really see the point of the One S doing that, since it maxes out like at 900p usually in games anyway.
I think only for like Blu-ray.
Video. Yeah, I think it's mainly just gonna be for video playback.
Yep.
So, but that way, cause currently I think it's downscaling, right? If you're running 1440.
Yeah, basically, if you put your Xbox One X on a 1440p monitor, it'll just downscale it to 1080p because your options on those are 1080p or 4K for its display output.
Yeah. So that's cool. I'm wonder how. I mean, it's cool, but I'm wondering how awesome, how much. What am I trying to say here? How many users are actually running a 1440 screen? Right?
It's small.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty small group use case there.
I agree. If anyone's using a monitor, they probably have a PC attached to it.
Yeah.
Yep. So you could do both on one now if you wanted. Switch off from your Xbox to your gaming PC, which is cool. I just like the fact that they're offering it at all.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
That's really neat. So
you could actually do it.
I know. Yeah, I got a 1440p monitor that I game on usually, which is really, really low resolution for my 1080 Ti's. But I still do it. I downsample on it, but because I'm still waiting for the perfect 4K monitor. It's not out yet.
The NVIDIA BGR, whatever it's called. BFG display.
BFGD. Yeah, that's what it was. Someday, but yeah. So 1440p is kind of a neat. It's definitely niche. Yeah, but it's cool. Yeah. It's cool that it's there.
When is that coming out?
Sounds like they didn't say. I think it's pretty soon though.
Yeah, it'll be just in one of their software updates.
Yeah, they say very soon.
So, good stuff. Let's see. We hit that. We talked about that. All right. So this is interesting. I've seen several articles about this. I think Owen put this. You can choose how you want to support the websites you look at.
Yeah. We talked about this a little bit before.
Yeah.
We kind of postulated like what. Is this the future of ad revenue, right?
And when I say you can choose, I mean you have no choice, and the website chooses for you.
So, not true, actually.
Really?
So that's the difference in this one, is that so before, that was what kind of asked, like, is this the new way ad revenue is going to go? Chrome just released a browser that blocks all ad content, right? Like, and stuff like that. And ads are kind of going away because they're so frustrating. People have been using ad blockers for years. And so we kind of thought, well, crypto mining will be the new way, right?
Sure.
Take a few clock cycles from
just mine
a million. You get a million. Yeah, you get a million hits a day on a website. You take a few clock cycles of that, and you get your money back.
You get a Zcash coin.
Yeah. So in this site though, instead of it doing it by default, so first of all, CoinHive is a program.
That doesn't sound creepy at all.
Yeah.
It's a program that got it's what's out there right now. That is it's one of the most talked about malwares out there. It's infecting Android apps. That you get these free apps for your kids. You're like, here's a free game for your kid. It's running CoinHive in the background.
Oh, geez.
A whole bunch of government sites got found to be running CoinHive, just taking people's processing power without even knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the big ones out there right now. But this site, they are kind of legitimizing it, and it's I want to find the actual link because I can't. What's the name of the site? Do you have the link? Anyway,
OwenCryptoMining.com.
that's not it.
Oh.
No. But so what happens when you come to this page, you're presented with a pop-up, and it lets you choose. Would you
is
rather?
this from Salon?
Yeah, Salon. That's the name of the website. So you're presented with a pop-up that says, "Would you prefer to see our ads, or would you prefer not to see our ads and let us use your clock cycles while you're visiting our site?" And
I think it's a great idea, honestly.
I honestly thought that
Depends on how much they're using.
Well,
if they're maxing my computer out, and there's like no way.
Yeah, obviously they can't. I mean, obviously they can't do that. It wouldn't be to drive away. It would drive away. It would be the opposite of trying to get people to come there. But for some people, the ads that pop up and flash and all the crap, it's really distracting and annoying. And so I think that this user-driven choice is a great way to kind of settle. It's cryptocurrency itself. People give it such a bad rap when people are like, oh, they stole my clock power to mine, but it's just a way to make money, right? So it's like kind of amoral in that. Like it's neither good nor bad.
Giving them a choice too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
especially when you give the choice. Exactly.
So once you give the choice to the consumer, I think it takes away the.
You know what would be cool is if you could get an extension on your browser that basically just made that choice for you whenever you went to a website that offers it. And you're like, always go with mining or always go with ads.
If they take like 1% of my CPU, totally I'd do that.
You know, I'd be okay if they even took up to like 20%.
You wouldn't even feel it.
You wouldn't
20%?
even
Browsing,
feel it.
Browsing,
you
wouldn't
just browsing.
Leaving your tabs open, multiple 20%s happening at the same time, your computer will be down to its knees.
And I think it would have to be a sliding. It would have to be a sliding based on usage.
See,
I mean,
20%
of your available.
That's
what it would have to be.
That's where I think the extension would come in, and it would allot 20% for all the browsers.
Yeah, if it was 20% while the tab was active, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you clicked off the tab, it would have to stop.
Oh, obviously.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
As soon as you leave the site, it's
But
kind of
I bet the current incarnation is it'll.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, I bet it will.
As long as your browser's open, even if it's not on the page. Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure that I mean, that'll be exploited. It's really kind of the Wild West right there. There's a lot of security that still hasn't been talked about. How do you regulate that? How do you stop it from going rogue? It's already kind of going rogue. In fact, the Pirate Bay, they haven't released what they did off that, but the Pirate Bay, one of the biggest torrent websites in the world, has been using clock cycles to mine for months now. And what are people going to do? They can't call and complain. It's like calling the cops like, somebody came and stole my weed.
Yeah.
Oh wait. So it's kind of a catch. So they're kind of in this area there, and I mean, there's not really any data. They haven't released any data on what they've got and how that's worked out. But there's definitely some use cases where that might be something that's a move into the future, depending on whether or not cryptocurrency works out. It's been in the toilet.
Yeah,
a few weeks.
This concept scares me because my wife literally has like 40, 50 tabs open.
With mine.
What?
So if every tab was mining cryptocurrency, my computer would be useless.
40 tabs?
At least.
Yeah, my wife's the same way. Her laptop or her phone, either one you go to, particularly
Super
her
tabbers,
phone,
right?
It is insane.
I can see it being
Do they
pretty
just
bad
never
on phones.
close tabs ever?
No.
How could you not close your tabs?
I don't know if your wife's this way, but they see something that they think they might want to look at, and they open it up, and it stays there until they get to it 2 months later.
Oh my goodness, that's giving me anxiety just thinking about that.
Sometimes don't tell her this. Oh crap, she listens. Oh, now I have to say it.
Now you have to say it.
Sometimes I just close all the tabs because it's just like too much in my brain.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like I have to start fresh.
You just see the top row, and you're just like, you can't even read the title of the website. You don't even
know
what you have open.
That's where I cut myself off. When I'm browsing and I get to the point where I can't read what the website is on the tab, I start closing tabs.
That puts me at about a 15 tab limit.
Yeah.
Like that's 15 tabs, and I start going, I'm lost. I'm going to spend more time being like, what's that tab? What's that tab? What's that tab?
Exactly.
And then I'm just scatterbrained all over what all the information that I've left sitting. So I kind of go down the rabbit hole.
Speaking of the cryptocurrency and Russia, some Russian scientists. This is funny.
I love the story.
Some Russian scientists got busted because they took their supercomputer at the nuclear power plant that they worked at, and they tried to get it to mine.
Well, and there's more there too, because Russia banned cryptocurrency from their state-run. Like they have I believe Russia's in the middle of trying to create their own state fund.
I did read that.
Their state-owned cryptocurrency to kind of help with their, because they've been being naughty
They should call it the ruble coin.
I love the response that Russia had. They said, in quotes, "There has been an unsanctioned attempt to use our computer facilities for private purposes, including so-called mining."
Not real mining. It's not real.
We can't admit it. Everybody knows. They were trying to mine. I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You have the keys to a supercomputer.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be connected to the internet.
That's where they found them.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you mine, you got to be connected to the internet.
Yeah.
As soon as they hit the outside internet, their security guys were like, "Wait a minute, this should not be leaving our LAN."
Right.
And then it did, and they got busted.
The
The sad part is
scientists are like, "What do you mean it needs the internet?"
This is Russia we're talking about. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if they're sitting in a gulag now.
Right.
Because they don't put up with stuff like that.
And just because you're a nuclear scientist doesn't mean you're smart.
They do laud their scientists over there pretty highly though. So
they do, but I'm sure that they've got one that can replace those guys.
That's true.
Scientists are a dime a dozen these days.
Dime a dozen.
So, but I think I probably would have tried it. I mean,
oh yeah, you totally would have.
I mean, it's like, here's a car that can go back in time. Do you want to go back in time and make yourself rich?
No. Wait, yes?
Yes, I do. What about the timeline? Don't care. I'll be rich, right? Yeah. No, I don't care.
Exactly. Oh, jeez. Okay, also, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You can win a Bitcoin.
Dude, there's a game. So it's starting.
Kind of feels like Ready Player One.
Exactly. It's. I think it's kind of running on that. But I came across this, and it's called what is it? Monte Crypto. Okay. So it sucks that we're releasing it. So we're actually recording a couple days early because of the holiday coming up, right?
Yep.
But this episode will release on the 20th, right? Mm-hmm. Tuesday. That's the day that this competition starts. So it's a game. The first person to win this puzzle game is a strategy game, a lot like Ready Player One, if you've read that. And you figure it out, you get one full Bitcoin.
Graphics don't look half bad either.
Yeah, it's $10,000. I mean, right now Bitcoin's 10,100 or something like that.
Yep.
But
does it cost money to go in?
I don't think so. I think you just get to play. You can download the game. I put a link to the trailer, and then also that's kind of how you get started. But there's also
oh man, people are gonna go crazy about this.
I'm looking at the picture on Justin's laptop, and there's at the article. There's a big clip of code from the game from the website. You have to sort through the code to get the
first
clue.
They gave you the first clue, and the very first clue is looking at the source code on their webpage.
I'm out.
So as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's source code. That's HTML. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just mine it. I'm already invested.
3 years later, I got one.
I got one coin. Take that.
It's funny because it's true.
Anyway, it's a cool game. Go check it out. It may not be by the time this episode drops. It may not be too late to jump in there if you like puzzles and like if you want to. I mean, because this is gonna go. It's gonna be kind of like a scavenger hunt. The way they said it's gonna go out into the real world. So I mean, it's
real world. I'm out too.
Yeah, I learned that with Pokemon Go. I'm not walking around.
I love that old joke about the real world. I went outside once. The graphics were amazing. The gameplay sucked.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it almost was because of my cryptocurrency.
Owen's gameplay sucks more than yours.
Because no, it doesn't. I'm on an older model, dude.
Update that code.
Yeah, come on.
And you really designed your character horribly.
Oh man.
My avatar is broken. I didn't know that it was going to be my permanent avatar. I would have done it different.
He's really mean today.
Yeah. But anyway, go check out that game. It's almost enough to make me take a crack at it. I just don't like puzzle games that much. They frustrate me.
I mean, you haven't found very many upgrades for your avatar at all.
No, I don't do a lot of quests.
Says the guy who has the short avatar that can't process gluten.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
You know, when you're choosing the sliders, you got to invest it where you think it's going to count.
Jarron dumped all of his. He dumped all of his into his hair.
Yeah.
And he's like, digestive system,
gluten,
negative.
hair. Of course, I'm going to choose the hair.
I just
boost my hair.
See, my problem is I just clicked
hair at 10. Gluten at -5.
I didn't know there were sliders. I just clicked through the default, so I just got the base model.
You got average all the way through.
You'll never be special at anything. You're just going to be average. Sorry. You could have chosen to be really skilled or smart. But
I gave up hairline for height. Yeah. That's what I did.
The one slider you did pay attention to was goatee. Yeah, I'll put that up.
I think that was probably an accident. Like a glitch in the code later, because I didn't have that. I haven't had that my whole life. So.
Jarron didn't know that if you went for the hair head, he'd lose the facial hair.
Yeah.
Or the head hair, he'd lose the facial hair.
Well, you know.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Who needs the facial hair anyway? Tony obviously favored that.
Yeah, I went all in on facial hair. Boosted to 11. That's pretty funny. The other thing that crypto related that we got to hit on is Atari. Atari. What guys?
No, it's a joke. It's funny. Ha.
They're doing this.
Is it a joke though?
No, they're doing this.
They're serious about
They're
it.
They're doing it to boost their online gaming.
Oh my god.
They're gambling. They're getting into gambling, online gambling.
As you do.
As you do with Atari. So they're following that green or that iced tea company, and what's the other one that got the Kodak.
Okay.
And now these guys with Atari have thrown in their hats into the cryptocurrency.
Their speaker hats?
Maybe that's probably.
Good one.
They're throwing in their speaker hats to the ring to start their own crypto coin that they say that this is a wise position for us to get into. It just makes sense with blah 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 some gambling. Anyway, so I will probably never go for it, but it's just funny because what happened. I don't understand if you talk to an investment person, if you talk to a banker, if you talk to anybody that knows anything about money, and you bring up the term cryptocurrency, they shake their head at you, they roll their eyes, they say you're an idiot.
Yep.
But when a company announces that they're getting into the cryptocurrency market and blockchain technology, Atari stock jumped by 52%.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Atari stock, the guys that should be dead by now.
They went from like a penny to a penny and a half.
Yeah, I mean it went up. But
still 52% return.
Yeah, that's a huge return.
52%.
It's just I want to know like who's running Atari right now.
I would love to see the guy. You know he's got.
I just want to talk to him and be like, so your first big idea in years was a hat with speakers in it, and then
an overpriced console that no one's going to buy.
Yeah, and then an overpriced console that nobody really knows any real details on.
It just looks pretty.
It looks cool on the outside, but who knows what it actually does. And now your third idea is cryptocurrency. Yeah, blockchain, Atari blockchain.
It's just, I don't know, man. The guys running the show got to be like, let's try everything.
Who knows? Maybe they're mad geniuses, and that Atari's going to come back and be a #1 household name again.
Like Blade Runner, you know. Atari's huge.
I think they spent their entire marketing budget on that one scene in Blade Runner 2049.
Well, like even in the original Blade Runner, Atari had a huge presence.
Right.
Was that based in 2019?
2018? Something around. I can't remember the year it was based in, but it was made in what, like 1982?
Yeah, but
when Atari actually was relevant.
If that future is real, this is going to propel them to greatness.
That's exactly where I was going. I think I figured this out. This is because somebody in the future invented time travel. One of the people that was, you know, a far descendant of the last Atari guy. One of his great grandchildren was like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to tell my great granddad. Speaker hats. That's speaker hats, cryptocurrency, and make a console.
It is 2019 is when Blade Runner takes place. So this is the thing that's going to propel them.
Yeah. I think their company motto now is MAGA, make Atari great again.
Anyway, I thought it was. I haven't done any research into the coin. I don't know if it's mineable for any of you guys out there that are miners or whatever. I don't know any other details besides that. I just thought it's just funny to see the market react, the actual stock market. The guys, this is old money, right? Stock market is like the suits, and they're like, yeah, we're the legit, like we drive the economy type of thing.
Yep.
To see them react to cryptocurrency, who they view as a threat and like you're crazy and stupid and all this stuff, to have them react with a 52% increase, it kind of...
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Not even a little bit.
It makes me think that they're all hypocrites, but
yeah,
I'm just like...
Well, let's be honest. Their whole goal in everything they do is to make money.
Yeah.
And they don't care if they...
Hype train.
They don't care if they look bad doing it. You know, they'll sit there and poke fun at something all day, but if it'll make them a 52% return,
boom,
they'll invest in it.
Yep.
They'll make fun of it all day, but they'll make money on it. They don't care.
I think that's what all the major banks have done. They're like, we would not advise investing in crypto. And if you go look at their portfolio, they've got crypto.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got crypto.
You don't know that.
Whatever, dude. I don't not know that.
It's true. You don't not know that. I think the last thing we want to hit on is Rocket League IRL.
Yeah. So Rocket League.
So you don't want to talk about it?
No, I do. I do.
Okay.
That's my...
You sounded enthusiastic, that's for sure.
Rocket League in real life. Hot Wheels is doing this, so it's kind of like the Anki cars that are already out there. You control it via Bluetooth on your phone, but they have this big arena. You put the cars in with a game ball, and it's Rocket League in real life with these mini cars.
That's cool.
I wonder if it'll be fun.
It's got to be fun, man.
Dude, Robot Wars already are cool, so it's kind of the same idea.
Anything remote controlled is just awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Sounds like I have to stand for a long time.
That's right.
I actually have to go to somewhere.
I don't know. Part of my thing that I like about Rocket League is the absurd physics of it. How you can drive up the wall and on the ceiling.
You're not going to be driving on ceilings here.
And you have the rocket boost, and you have all the other different abilities now that they've added in as they've gone. And obviously, your little Hot Wheels RC car isn't going to have any of that.
Still be cooler than the little tracks, cars you had that had to run on the little tracks.
Actually, it might have a boost. They might have a button you hit that just makes the electric motor go faster.
So this is going to look more like those kids at the park playing Quidditch.
The LARPers playing Quidditch.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the park because it's a mini arena.
You're taking something that has fantastical physics
elements and physics.
Right, like from the game world, and you're bringing it to the real world, and so now you're just running around on
with
sticks.
Awesome results. Only problem is
that remains to be seen.
It's going to cost $180.
Whoa!
Yeah, and
how much,
you could spend $15 for Rocket League.
That's what I was going to say. You know how much Rocket League costs? You can usually find it for about $15. Well, it could be good.
And it comes with in-game DLC. So
jury's out on that one. We'll keep an eye on it, though.
Yeah, it's
we'll
cool.
Keep an eye on it.
It'll be awesome.
Jarron sold. He's already reserved 2.
Well, I also really wanted the Anki Drive cars. Those looked awesome to me.
You can't even control those, though.
Yeah, you can.
I thought they were just basically ran on their sensors.
No. You can control those.
Are you sure?
No, I'm 60% sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So a little bit above half.
You never did get the battle tanks one that you loved.
Oh, at CES that we saw? Yeah.
Whatever happened to that?
I don't know, but there were these mini RC tanks you control with your phone, and you could shoot other tanks via IR or whatever, and it would do fake damage to the tanks. And
I'll say that was actually pretty cool.
It was fun
because you could shoot the other tanks, and the what do they call it? The course they had set up had moving walls and stuff like that you could hide behind and everything. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
You'll give me it?
I'll give you that one.
Sweet.
That one looks good. I'm not going to buy it for you, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that about wraps it up.
Thrifty 50.
Oh, yeah. We do want to report real quick on the Thrifty 50. Was February my month?
February is your month.
Okay.
And we never did January, technically. We never reported on it.
That was Owen's month, right?
No, Owen's was December.
I was actually December. I didn't. So I talked about
Owen's was January. Or I just said that. Jarron's was January.
Yeah. So we'll just run. Mine was real quick. Mine was just I got the Hamilton Beach sandwich maker.
That's right. Was it good?
Oh, it was fantastic.
You were supposed to make sandwiches for us.
That's still on the table to do. I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't had a lot of time since December.
Oh, I had a baby.
Yeah. That's exactly what it sounds like. just crank the volume up and do that for 7 hours straight.
Not doing it.
Anyway, so what I did get a chance to use it, and it's really cool the way it's compartmentalized. So you put your bread in, then you put your egg in, and like you just slide these little slider plates out.
Wait. So you put
your bottom.
Does it crack the egg itself?
No, you do that.
So you crack the egg.
So you put your bottom biscuit in, whatever, English muffin, right? Then you slide a tray in, and you put your egg, cheese, ham, whatever you want.
Wow.
Then you put the top one on, and then you close it down, and it just cooks it all. And then you pull the trays out, and
it plops it onto the sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
How much does this cost?
This was $30.
How much does it? How long does it take to make the sandwich?
Sandwich came out in about 6 minutes, maybe. Fully cooked, 6 or 7 minutes.
Do you have to watch it while it cooks?
No, it's got a little timer.
So you don't have to touch
light.
it after that.
Yeah, a little green thing, just like a waffle maker.
I can have a breakfast sandwich every morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
You could automate that somehow. You could make a robot that cracks the egg and just
Wallace and Gromit style.
Dun, 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 dun,
I was
dun,
thinking Casper, but yeah.
You know, it worked out. It worked out pretty good. I liked it a lot. So
how hard is the cleanup?
It's all non-stick, so it was real quick.
How often do you use it?
I have used it twice so far. I'm not a big breakfast person. I realized. Because I'm always in a hurry in the morning or sleeping.
I would end up using it for dinner.
Yeah. So we did it. We didn't do it for breakfast. We just did it for like a lunch.
Does it cook bacon too?
I didn't try that. I haven't looked into that.
So did you use a sausage patty?
I just did egg and cheese.
Oh, okay.
We just went egg and cheese route, and I sprinkled some like sandwich meat ham in there. So
did you put the cheese in at the beginning?
In the egg, like I kind of beat the egg. Like a scrambled egg, and it didn't fry. I didn't try frying an egg. I just tried the scrambled method. So I scrambled it in a bowl and then poured it in. And
so we actually, a group of guys at work got together and we bought one of these so that we could make them at work because you're always in a rush.
Right.
And I've done it only a couple times, but it is pretty cool. And I've done more of the fry egg style. I think when I did it, I threw the egg on or the cheese on it like last. So, because it would have been more messy.
Yeah, that's the more sensible approach.
Yeah,
how does the fried egg come out? Pretty good.
Yeah,
cooked all the way through.
Yep.
Wow. This thing was like super highly reviewed, like acclaimed on Amazon reviews and stuff. Like it had like 1,500 reviews, and it was like 4.5 stars.
Wow.
So it's pretty awesome.
I thought you got free food at work. Why would you invest your own money?
Cooking the free food.
Oh, got it.
They just handed us a bunch of eggs.
Here's some raw eggs.
We did have to bring in eggs, but yeah, the biscuits are there.
Here, have eggs. Shut up and be happy.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, Jarron.
My Thrifty 50 were the wireless 8-bit Do controllers for the SNES Classic.
Yeah.
$25 each, and they're glorious.
I told you they would be.
It made my SNES Classic playable because it's about 15-20 feet away from me. So the tiny 4-foot, 5-foot length controllers that they have bundled in.
Terrible case.
You don't like sitting on the floor looking straight up.
I would literally be sitting on the floor like angled 90 degrees.
Plus your kid running around using it as a tripwire.
Exactly.
Right.
And so it just was not feasible in the modern home environment. But these are cheap. They work wonderfully, and I love them. They are wonderful. I cannot recommend them enough if you have a SNES Classic.
Bam.
Yeah.
8-bit Do's very good for retro hardware stuff.
Yeah, they are. And the quality of the plastic is good. The quality of the buttons is good. It syncs wirelessly perfectly, and it's wonderful.
While you're using it, they have a button combination you can hit that is equivalent of hitting the reset button on this SNES Classic.
I'm glad you brought that up.
You can pause your game and do save state and everything without having to get up and hit the reset button.
Yeah, so I don't have to walk 20 feet to my... It can't be 20 feet. That seems pretty long. I don't have to walk 10 feet to my cabinet, you know?
Plus, it's really high, and you're kind of short, so I can see where that'd be plus, again, in the modern home.
Yeah.
I know that you didn't make like a miniature home just because you're short. You have a normal-sized home. I understand that you're height challenged even in your own home.
I have hair, all right? I have hair.
Right. You did the slider on hair. I forget.
He traded height and digestive ability. Jeez. All right, and I had a Thrifty 50 for this month, and I have purchased, but I have not tried them out yet. So next episode, I'll be reviewing. It's a comparison. There is a company called Eufy,
owned by Anchor,
and they do the wall plugs that have an app attached to them that you can turn the wall plug on and off, measure the wattage and everything like that. And then I also bought one from TP-Link, which is kind of the go-to wall plug that Amazon usually suggests if you're looking for smart wall plugs, things like that.
And they suggest it because it works with Alexa.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm a big fan of the Wemo.
It also
I went Wemo on
so
mine.
you have the Wemo one. So
I love them.
So I'm going to compare the Eufy one, which was $14, to the TP-Link one, which is $25, and see if there's a difference in quality, how the setup goes, things like that. So on the next episode, I'll do a quick review of those. But I thought those would be interesting because it's nice to just have your stuff
lamps
on your phone. Yeah, lamps and stuff like that.
Lamps is the big one.
So you can just turn your lamp off when you're going to bed or whatever without having to get out. Nice. So I'll have a full report on that next episode. Which brings us to the end of this episode. So Justin, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Good time.
And I think we're done. So Owen, take us out.
Hey,
wait. Hang on. There's one more thing. Sorry about that. We have outro music.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you've been hearing it because I have to put it in still. So hopefully you're hearing it right now. The outro music is provided to us by Elon Osborne.
Wait, Elon? Elon?
It's like Alan with an E.
Lord Elon?
It's Elon with just add an A to Elon's name. It's close enough for me to get a little bit of worshipy, but
Elon, I would change your name to Elon.
So Elon Osborne provided us with some music for the different segments that we have, some outro music. So I think we're going to have one for, if I remember correctly, he sent us some battery segment music. He sent us an outro, and what was the other? I'm going to look it up real quick.
Cryptocurrency?
Yeah, yeah. I'll put the cryptocurrency one in. Hopefully you heard that earlier. And I think there was one more, but I can't remember because I'm a terrible person. I have the link right here.
Out of all the things that make you terrible, this isn't it. Don't worry.
You know what? That sounds just like something Creed Bratton said to Toby. This is the least of your worries in your life right now. Oh, email. So there was an email one too, so you probably heard that at the beginning, hopefully. So anyway, thanks, Elon. That is very cool. And we really appreciate you going out of your way to make some sweet 8-bit tunes for us.
Yeah.
That is awesome, guys. Or Elon. You're one person.
He is one person.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, now, take us out, Owen.
Hey, we hope you care.
Gadget Spot.